Well, a warm welcome to you all for what's going to be a wonderful night for a very special cause. Tonight we remember Alexander, who sadly passed away much sooner than anyone would have ever hoped. And so tonight's concert is in remembrance of Alexander. It's a pleasure tonight to welcome his mum, Emily, his uncle Mark, his grandma Judith, and granddad Paul, who's going to say a few words at the end of this evening. All of the proceeds for tonight's concert will go towards SUDC. I hope you all have a piece of paper explaining what it is. It stands for Sudden Unexplained Death in Childhood. And every fortnight, 1 to 2 seemingly healthy children, sadly, go to sleep and never wake up. And at this time, we don't know what causes SUDC, and medical professionals don't know how to predict it or how to prevent it. It's one of the most under-recognized medical tragedies of our time. But SUDC is a registered national charity dedicated to raising awareness and funding research to help families affected by it. And so tonight you're doing your part as you pay to come, as you'll pay £1 for a cup of tea or a can of Coke, and all of that is going to raise money which will help raise awareness of this very worthy cause. I'm now going to hand over to Mr. Steve Terry. Thank you, Steve.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real pleasure to be here. And we're going to start the evening off in traditional style with a march by William Rimmer, the Punchinello. Well, we're going to take you off to the States now for a little bit of show music, or rather a selection of show music. This is an arrangement by a gentleman called Goff Richards. It's simply called Breezin Down Broadway, but includes the following well-known tunes: Another Opening, Another Show, There's No Business Like Show Business, Get Me to the Church on Time, Oklahoma, That's Entertainment, and watch out for the 76 trombones. Breezing Down Broadway. Great selection, isn't it? I gathered there was a show on last evening at Rossall School. For the last couple of nights they've been doing West Side Story. And our principal cornet player has been very busy this week because the last couple of nights he's been out doing that. And so he's back with us again this evening. And this piece that he's going to play for you now was actually written by a trumpet player, a gentleman called Kenny Baker. Now, Kenny Baker was for a long time the principal trumpet for the Jack Parnell Orchestra, if you remember them, in the days of Joe Loss and James Last and all those great big bands. And Kenny Baker was a wonderful, wonderful trumpet player. And I got to meet him at one stage at one of the concerts, and he was telling me how actually he lost his teeth at the age of 14 and still carried playing on dentures from the age of 14. That's such a fantastic trumpet player. Well, I'm glad to say Tony's got all his own teeth. Whether he will have at the end is another matter. But he's going to play for you a fantastic piece, and it shows off exactly what it says in the title. It does what it says on the tin. It's simply called Virtuosity. Please welcome Tony Armstead.
this... Oh, is it working? Hello? Oh, yes, it is. Yes? Good. We are Coasters Choir with our music director, Marilyn Marshall, our pianist, Kath Stevenson, and our wonderful drummer, Phil Wheatley. I'd like to say on behalf of the choir how honoured we feel to be invited to sing this evening to help raise money for the charity SUDC, and particularly in memory of Alexander. That was a medley of music from the popular musical Les Miserables, which I always think is well named. It's very wordy, and we have to concentrate to be able to get the words out. One part of it always causes a lot of debate, and you've probably already heard it. That's the lines, "There is a room that's full of toys. There are 100 boys and girls." Well, it doesn't rhyme, does it? Should it? Is it written incorrectly? Is it a poor translation from the French? Well, I decided to Google it. You'll be pleased to know. I found a site that stated the following. The rhyme scheme varies throughout the song so that we always feel the closure of finishing the rhyme. Therefore, the rhyme scheme is ABBA, CDAA, EEFF, GHAA. And that's the reason. Any clearer? No. Which goes to prove, don't Google absolutely everything. Just take some things at face value and move on. Our next song is One Voice by Barry Manilow. Not a name you hear very much these days. I often research our songs, having to use Google unfortunately, to see if there is anything written about them, any meaning to the lyrics, etc. Believe it or not, the only entry I found for it was this one. Del Boy from Only Fools and Horses. In an episode called Fatal Extraction, starts singing the song outside a block of flats late at night after he's been drinking and sparks a riot. As we're not expecting that to happen here, although I have looked at one or two in the band and I'm not quite sure if... Please enjoy our version with a solo sung beautifully by Mandy Ryan of One Voice.
another soloist now, and this time it's the turn of our flugelhorn player, Natalie, and she's chosen to play for you a new arrangement. Well, certainly it's not been around very long, and it's one that I've certainly not done before with the band, and it's a great deal of fun. So please welcome Natalie to play for you Under the Boardwalk. I did say to Natalie, could she come and do it in a bikini, but she wasn't so keen. We're going to feature another soloist now, and this time it's the turn of our solo horn player. All ladies in the horn section back here. So I have to watch my P's and Q's with them, otherwise I'm in trouble. But we're going to feature Nicola Holland now, in an arrangement of Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz. And what you might not know about that song is it almost didn't actually make it into the movie. The directors, when they were going through the various cuts, decided that the song didn't really move the movie storyline along enough. It was too wistful. And it almost ended up on the cutting room floor. Thankfully it didn't. So please welcome to play for you Over the Rainbow, Nicola Holland. beautiful solos played beautifully. Don't you think, ladies and gentlemen? Natalie and Nicola. At least if I mention both of them, I'm not going to get it right way round then. We're going to finish our first half with a tune that's become an anthem, obviously, for one very famous football team not so far away from here, but comes from the show Carousel, and a lovely arrangement. Please join in if you wish to, singing You'll Never Walk Alone.
Brilliant, isn't it? Wonderful. Thank you so much, Coasters Choir, Thornton Cleveleys Band. What a wonderful first half. Well, we're going now to have some refreshments. I suggest you take your time. We're going to have a bottleneck of congestion going through to the toilets and to the hall. The tea and coffee is complimentary, but we're charging you £1. Because we're giving you tea and coffee for free, but every part of the pound goes towards a charity, SUDC. So we're pleased if you can pop £1 in as a donation towards the tea or coffee. All those cans will pop in the fridge. We might run out of cups tonight, but that's a possibility. That might actually happen because there's so many people in church. So if that happens, those who have their tea and coffee first will wash your cups up very quickly for those who come in a bit later. So take your time to go through and get a drink. But thank you so much for this first half. I'll invite the choir to leave first, followed by the band. They can go and get a drink of water, a cup of tea, and then the rest of us can follow. Once more, the Coasters Choir and Thornton Cleveleys Band. Ladies and gentlemen, are you all refreshed? Good, thank you very much. And thank you all for your generosity tonight in making donations. On your way out, there are donation buckets. If you want to make further donations towards a charity, you're most welcome to. Now, I have a brass band joke. It's about the trumpet players. That's all right, then, your cornets. All right. There were 3 famous trumpet players, or maybe cornet players, in an aeroplane. One of them says, "I'll throw out £100 note and make someone very happy." The one next to him says, "I'll throw out 2 £50 notes and make 2 people very happy." The third one said, "I'll throw out 5 £20 notes and make 5 people happy." The pilot, who was their conductor, said, "Why don't all 3 of you jump out and make the whole band happy?" Ladies and gentlemen, the Coasters Choir and Thornton Cleveleys Band.
particular piece is called Prismatic Light, and it was written by a gentleman called Peter Graham, who's one of our top Salvation Army musicians and composes a great deal of music for brass bands. And I think Prismatic Light is a great name for it when you consider the light sometimes shining through the church windows. A very colourful piece of music. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, a little bit of music for you to tap your toes to and hopefully sing along to this time. This is another selection, music by Benny Andersson and Bjorn Ulvaeus, and I'm sure you all know who I'm talking about now, Abba, that fantastic group. And we've got a really good selection of some of their songs now. Please join in and sing along if you wish to, in Abba Goes Brass. I'm going to put things straight now and feature the soloist I should have just featured before that one. And this is the turn of our soprano cornet player, Paul, who'll be talking to you later on, Paul Cooper. And he's going to play for you a soprano cornet solo. And a soprano cornet is pitched in a different key to the rest of the instruments. Most of the cornets are in the key of B flat. The soprano cornet is an E flat instrument. It's a little bit smaller, and we always call it kind of razor blade seat in the band, because it's one of the more difficult instruments to play, but certainly not in Paul's hands. He's going to play for you Errol Garner's Misty. Please welcome Paul Cooper.
do battle again with the microphone. That was La Musica, with all the scintillating energy of Cuba in the 1960s, built upon a hypnotic rhythmic pulse and smooth Latin harmonies, or there's our version. We had fun deciding how the Spanish should be pronounced, and as you've just heard, we never actually came to an agreement. However, we did all share the sentiment that music is a world that we can all share. Next is a song that sums up everything to do with our choir at the moment, Climb Every Mountain. We certainly have climbed a mountain over the last few weeks, with COVID waging war against us at various intervals. Indeed, our concert last week meant that we had few members left to sing. However, it almost didn't matter, as at the interval a member of another choir fell and broke her arm. The concert was cancelled and seemed to sum up how things are going at the moment. However, we all remember the film The Sound of Music, where the incomparable Peggy Wood as the Mother Abbess sings the song. We were going to wear our wimples, but unfortunately the men forgot theirs, so we decided not to bother. Climb every mountain. Our final song is Anthem, from the musical Chess. We had some discussion about this because the song was written to symbolise the Cold War between nations. It represents one man's love of his homeland, which happens to be Russia. As they are the villain of the moment, we worried about singing it. However, our pianist Kath spotted a YouTube video of Treorchy male voice choir paying their respects to Ukraine by singing Anthem to the people of Ukraine. The words of the song, if you listen carefully, refer to their current situation. So this is our tribute to the people of Ukraine. Anthem.
A friend of mine once said, if everybody in the world was a musician, there would be no war. And I think that's a lovely idea. We're going to feature our last soloist of the evening, but by no means least. And this is a chance to hear the baritone. Now, the baritone in the band is an instrument that doesn't very often get solos to play. It's a member of the horn family, an extension of the tenor horns in the middle, and a kind of cross between the euphoniums and the tubas. Now, the euphoniums are a member of the tuba family, but the baritone is a cross between the euphonium and the tenor horn, and it sits in the middle. Very rarely gets melodies to play. It tends to be considered as the poor relation sometimes in the band, but certainly not in the hands of Janet Waterfield, who's going to play for you now. And she's going to play for you a beautiful arrangement of a melody called Donegal Bay. Please welcome Janet Waterfield. Donegal Bay. come to our penultimate item, music by Irving Berlin, one of the great writers of show music. He became a recluse in his later life and lived to, I think, 100 years of age, and stopped writing by that time, but left us with some absolutely fantastic music. And we're going to get your toes tapping, hopefully, with this last one, with Let's Face the Music and Dance. over to our soprano player, Paul Cooper to talk to you about this one. It's an arrangement that he's done himself. It's a wonderful arrangement. Please, Paul Cooper.
First of all, I just want to apologise for my performance of Misty. I know if I was to have done that at home, little Alexander would have said, "Don't worry, Granddad." He would have probably told me to put it back in my case. But anyway, we would just like to say a big thank you to you all for coming tonight. The band and the choir for giving up their time to perform for you. To the Rev Damian Platt for allowing us to play and use his church and providing the refreshments with all the proceeds of which they are very kindly donating to SUDC as well. We have been overwhelmed with support and are extremely grateful to family and friends and even complete strangers who have been in contact and supported our family throughout this difficult time. We would like to make a special mention to Andrew Swan, the chairman of the band, who has given up his time to organise tonight on our behalf. He has been absolutely wonderful support to me since our tragic loss of Alexander, and I would just like to thank him immensely for that. We came rather late to grandparenting, and Alexander was our first grandchild. Then life took on a completely new meaning as he stole our hearts and became an integral part of our lives. His sweet nature and sheer joy of pleasing everyone with whatever he did in life lit up our lives, and it was pure joy to watch him develop into such a lovely character. We are sure he will be extremely proud that over £7,000 has been raised in his memory and donated to Matilda's mission, and over 2,000 to SUDC before tonight's proceeds have been added. Thank you, each and every one of you. We are extremely grateful for your support for such an important charity, which also funds research into the cause of such tragic early deaths in children. Our final piece tonight, I came upon by chance, one day on YouTube, being sung by Russell Watson, and it seemed so appropriate, I applied for permission from Russell and the publishers to allow me to arrange it for brass band for tonight's concert, which they kindly granted. The band and choir will now perform for you Someone to Remember Me, in memory of our beloved Alexander.
said anything. I'm Alexander's mum, Emily. I'm used to winging public speaking at work, but I'm not going to be very good this evening. I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody for coming. Thank you to the band, thank you for the tissue. I've got a very well used one here already. We're so overwhelmed that you did this for us. I can't tell you how grateful we are. It's just such a lovely, kind thing to do. I really wish that we could have shared Alexander with the world for a different reason. But as my dad so eloquently put, he was just such a joyous, happy boy. And we had no idea that this sort of thing could happen to seemingly healthy, happy children. So the best way that everybody can honour him is to keep talking about SUDC, is to keep raising awareness, keep telling everybody about what the charity does, because the charity has really supported us, not just in terms of future research to stop this happening to other families, but also they've given us a lot of guidance in terms of navigating the process of dealing with the aftermath, and they've just provided a lot of solidarity. And I also just wanted to point out Chelsea from Matilda's Mission, who is not going to let me point out who she is, but she also runs a local parent group who support people that have lost children in terms of baby loss, as well as families like ours who have unfortunately lost older children as well. So please do keep raising awareness of SUDC and support the charity in future. I'm so grateful that you all did that today, and thank you very much. I just wanted to share one last thing about Alexander as well. So one way that you can still honour him, in addition to the lovely things that you've done today by coming along. He loved ice cream and he used to eat it all times of the year, all times of the day. And so if you want to honour him in future, any silly rules that you've got about ice cream, like not before 11 or not before the temperature's 16 degrees, one really lovely way that you can honour him is to have an ice cream. And, you know, children, like everybody, should eat ice cream in behalf of Alexander. So thank you again for coming along. We really appreciate it. And thanks to my dad in particular, and Andrew, as Dad's already alluded to, for everything that you've done. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed tonight. I certainly did. Thank you.
Emily, I think everyone needs a tissue now. They were precious words. Well done, and thank you very much indeed. I want to invite you to bow your head in a prayer. Almighty God, we thank you for precious children in our lives. Those in our lives now, those who have gone before us. Tonight we've remembered precious Alexander. We thank you for him, for his wonderful family, and this wonderful evening in remembrance of him. As you keep him safe in your heavenly kingdom, may you keep us safe this night, and bless us, we pray. Amen. Well, we're not alone. We have one another, and we had a wonderful rendition in our first half of You'll Never Walk Alone. Shall we sing it again? Yes. So, before I say good night and God bless, I want you to just say one more final thank you to the Coasters Choir. And to Marilyn, of course, and her keyboardist and drummer. To the Thornton Cleveleys Band and Steve Tarry. If you're able to, let's stand as we sing You'll Never Walk Alone.